Welcome back. My name is Ivica Cartello. You are watching React School for the Total Beginners, Redux users. Open Visual Studio Code, terminal, new terminal, cd open folder where I saved all my React application. Make directory for 26 cd. Open this repository. Address will be in descriptions below video. Copy address of this repository. Git clone, paste address. File, open folder for 26. Open folder for 25. Open folder cd for 25. npm I npm start. Here is application, title, this is new, author. It is drop down menu, content. When I save post, what happened? Happened this save post. We will see new post down, save post. Here it is. It is new post. It is new post, and that new post we see by Kevin Grant. Role of this HTML drop-down menu with users is that we have who write it, that we see that on the screen, that we see it in the post list. In post list, we have a new component by Kevin Grant, by Madison Price. That new component in price list is post author.js. It is component export constant post author equal this script, and I speak about that later, but now panoramic view on that component. Here is a visible part of that component. Here is JavaScript extension, JavaScript XML, JSX, and here in HTML element span we have by, and in curly brackets author. If author exists, write his name. Contrary, unknown author. And we have names of author in post list. This is component post author in post list. You look at post list. Here is post author, and here is element, React element post author. Of course, every post must have user ID, but every post there is a user. Every post there is a user. This we must look at post. It is post slice. Look at user. It is news here. ID, title, content, and news is user. We have user who writes that post. User, it is payload, user ID. And the posts is now have ID, title, content, and user ID. Every post there is a user ID, and every post, when we have a list of posts, we create from that user ID. We create we use name of author, and here we see by Kevin Grant. We see name of author. Post slice. Post list, component post list, equal arrow function, parameter of arrow function, empty, and the body is all that in curly brackets till now. Component till now. Component post list, there is a JavaScript part and JSX part. Language JavaScript. Here is a language JavaScript, and here is JSX, mix of HTML and JavaScript, and in return we have also JSX. Here we need use selector, because when we click here, save, title, author, content. When we click save, dispatch method take this post slice, take this ID, title, content, user ID, payload 4 fields there is in payload: ID, title, content, user ID, and we have a list of this component, this member: ID post, title post, content post, and user ID. When we want to, and that stay in state, in Redux, in reducer produce new state, and state posts, state.posts, there is all post until some moment. Here it is, we have 1, 2, 3, 4 posts, and that 4 posts we must display on the screen. How? Like this, post list. Post list is component for display all posts on the screen. It is component, and must use a selector, because a list of posts is in Redux, in state, in Redux, in store, and use selector can go to store and take state posts. It is arrow function, parameter state equal state posts, dot posts, take all posts, and here constant rendered post equal posts, that post, it is array. Dot map is method of array, and the parameter of map is arrow function, parameter is post, and the body is article name of div, key in curly bracket it is post.id, post title, and post author here. Properties of this element is user ID, because every post there is a user ID equal, in curly brackets it is existing, it is post.user. Every post, object post, there is a properties user. Here it is, post slice, every post there is a ID, title, content, and here user. And post list, post.user, user ID is equal post.user. Here it is, post user. This is name of that of that properties, user, post.user, and post content, and behind that we have a link. This is component for complete post list with component post author. This user ID is properties, because React element in React see like object, and object can have properties, short props. User ID is properties of this object post author. Here is return, and only return rendered post. Here it is, rendered posts. Repeat here. Add title, choose users in drop down, typing content, save post. When I click save post, title, author, and content go by method dispatch, go to store, go to reducer. Which reducer? Post reducer. And after coming in reducer, that action and state before, we have changes, changing immutable kind of changing state posts, and here it is. And after that, user selector take that posts, all posts, and by method map on of array posts, we have that list. Now must explain script how made this one, author, column, and drop-down menu with names of author. Let's go to add post form. Add post form. Here in add post form, we have we must as with other fields use state, and here it is, create component, create object, add post form, equal arrow function, parameter here is nothing, and in the body is all this until here. We at first use state because we must immutable kind change state of title, state of content, and state user ID. And this is constant array title, set title, content, set content, user ID, set user ID. We use state. initial value of user state, nothing. And now, after that, we have title, set title, content, set content, user ID, set user ID. And we use it, okay, constant dispatch. We create object dispatch equal use dispatch. And constant users coming by use selector, state, it is parameter, use selector, parameter of use selector is arrow function, parameter is state, body is state dot users. We take all users here, all users, we have 3 users. And here again, we have an object on title change, on content change, on author change. Set title, set content, set user ID. What is it? It is a function, set state function, what we call now set title, set content, set user. And that set state, set title, set content, set user, changes value by immutable kind. By immutable kind. Changes event, there is properties target dot properties value. Changes value on immutable kind. And after that we have changed value. When we click on save, post click, if exists title and content, we have dispatch post added these 3 element, these 3 parameter, title, content, user ID. We dispatch that to store, to reducer, post reducer. And after that, we clear our element in form. Set title to nothing, set content to nothing. This is only Boolean algebra that exists all 3 field and constant users options. Users options object is users. Look at users. We have users because of here. In help of user selector, we have all users, and all users dot map users is users array is one array. Map method map, parameter of method map is arrow function. Parameter of arrow function is user, and in the body we have option key, user ID would be key, and value user dot ID. It means 0, 1, 2. User dot name will be visible in drop down menu. Options is element of part of, it is HTML element inside element select. We will see that down. Add a new input post author. Here it is select. It is drop down menu with options. First options is nothing. Look at. First options is nothing, but after that we have these 3. And after that users options. It is this. Value, username between that options visible. It is when this element drop down menu where we choose author, choose users, what will be given to output of that event? Event is we choose some author. What will be output? Output would be this. In curly brackets user ID. From here go out user ID. From our selection, go out user ID. What go out from input title? From input title, post title, value. Go out value, title. What go out from element content? Here is content, value content. Output of that form is three field, three variable, three object. It is title, content, and user ID. Every HTML element, input title, input content, and select user ID, there is a event on change. On change is event on change of the value when we typing. On title change, they on change event call on title changed object, and on title changed, on author changed, on content changed. It is activation of set state, and it is activation of this set titles, set content, set users. It is activation of function what we have because of use selector, because of here what we have because of use state hook, and it is immutable kind of changes that value. Immutable, and here it is change of value, and we have new value, title, content, and user ID. Again, we must remember that three elements, title, content, and author, drop-down menu, give us three objects. Title, user ID, it is name of that object, it is object variable, and it is value, concretely value, and the content, value content. When we click, when event happen on click calling on save post click object, and on save post click, what it is on save post click equal arrow function. It is arrow function, it is call for function, arrow function, parameter nothing. In the body of arrow function we have conditions if title and content exist. Dispatch function in body we calling method dispatch, method of store. Dispatch and parameter of dispatch is action creator post edit, action creator post edit. And look at here, title, content, user ID. Title, content, user ID. It is strictly name of output of our form. Our form output is title, content, user ID. Add post for output is title, user ID, and content. It is output, and that output go by post edit is action creator. That action creator create type of action. It is post s post added, post s slash post added. It will be created. We will see that in later video. And payload is title, content, user ID. After dispatch and after post reducer from two input, this action and state, from that two input create one output, new state by immutable kind, and after that use selector in post list. Use selector, take that posts, all that post, and here construct completely visible part of the HTML. What we see complete here, it is create this list. It is circle. All what we type here, choose author, go to store, to reducer, and from store, from state in store, go out by use selector and coming here. Here it is interesting that element author give ID of user, only ID of user, and every post there is only ID of user. How we can see name here? Here is a name of user. Component post author. Here is a React element post author. Give us a name of user. How? Let's see. Post author is equal arrow function, and parameter of arrow function is user ID. User ID is something what exists is in every post, and every post there is a user ID. Take user ID, and here declare object author equal use selector. Use selector is hook function what have a arrow function for parameter, and that parameter of that arrow function is a state, and in the body state.user.find method find over user find user, singular user, author, what satisfy user.id equal user ID. And we have author, concretely complete author. We have ID author, user, name, and name of user. And what we have here in return, we have by, and the expression is in curly brackets. Author, question mark, means if exists, if author exists. He exists if any satisfy this user, satisfy these conditions, and exist, user exists. If exist, write author.name. Author.name, this is author, this is our concretely user, one user, and his name, write his name by his name. Column means contrary, If user don't exist, write unknown author. Here it is, post author. That post author we must include in single post page also. In single, look at here, single post page also. And here it is. When I click on single view post, here is by Kevin Grant. I have something else to talk about this script, concretely users, and why users is separate reducer, why we don't create name of author inside of post, because here we don't use users reducer in all his capacity for what we need, and we can take name inside of post and don't create second reducer. About that I will speak in the next video. Thank you for watching this video. If you know something that needs some video like this one, tell them, share on the social network, subscribe. Thank you once again.